Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. I'm back at my friend Larry's house. I was here not that long ago and did a whole video where I was looking through a couple of awesome collections and got some pretty big books. Well, he had some more books that I didn't have a chance to look through, including a lot of titles that I absolutely like. So I'm back here a few days later going through them and hey, let's see if we can bring some good stuff home.
This box is X Factor.
Yep.
And then you get into the Alpha Flight. And then a whole bunch of little stuff. And finally, where's your stuff here? Where is it?
There's some New Mutants back there. Right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't need to be turned around if you're gonna look for
Yeah, let me, I'll just walk over here. What's in this stuff? We got, those ones you showed me. We got more modern stuff. All over the place, huh?
Yeah, it's not really great.
It's not great. I don't know many of these titles at all. That's cool.
Oh, some of that stuff isn't bad.
I grabbed a couple of these from you last time. Yeah, you get some. Wow, you get so many of these. There's some good stuff in the back. You get some Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's not garbage stuff.
Yeah. Take a look at the slab stuff.
Cool. This is the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You started pricing them out.
Yeah.
You still got that Gwen Stacy #1 there?
No.
You got rid of that?
Yeah.
You get rid of the Edge of Spider-Verse? #2?
Oh, yeah. They both went to the same guy.
Oh, nice. All right, one more long box of good stuff. Let's go home and I'll show you guys everything that's in there. All right, guys, I just got home with this long box of comics, and although I went through it quickly at Larry's house and recognized a lot of the titles I like, I certainly didn't check every single comic book in here, and I'm really curious as to what I got. I usually don't tell you guys what I paid for something until the very end, but I'll tell you right up front, I bought this whole long box for $50. And there's 250 or so comic books in here, so at 20 cents a piece, it's a great deal no matter what, but I'm really curious as to what exactly I just bought. So the only way to find out is to go through this and start sorting, so let's get to it. Okay guys, this is what my gaming table looks like after my first round of sorting. I tried to kind of keep them in order as I went, but in general, I just went by title or publisher. Now comes the very laborious process of actually going through the individual stacks. Wish me luck. I realize as I'm filming this video, I'm showing you guys a lot more vantage points of this room. And it seems like ever since my channel began, people have been asking me to give a tour of my comic room in my collection. The reason I haven't done it yet is because this is a lot more than my comic book room. This is sort of like my nerd cave. Yes, there's comic books in here, but also my board games, my D&D stuff. I'm a musician, so there's tons of instruments and speakers and PA systems. And also it's my home office. So for all of those reasons, this room is always a complete mess. So I promise at some point I will clean this room up and give you a grand tour, not only of this room, but also of my other room in my basement, which is my antique room. But until then, to hold you guys over who have been asking, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek. You guys know the comic wall. You see it behind me all the time, although I don't think you can see all of it. And you certainly don't see all of the comic book boxes, which are strewn about all over this room and also the other room. What you never see is what's behind me. When I'm filming, I'm looking at all my favorite X-Men books up here on the top shelf, as well as all of my board games. I love board games. I have tons of them. Not just here. They're on the floor. They're in the closet. And that whole end of the room is all D&D stuff. And the far wall there, you see all of my musical instruments. There's even a drum set back here. So yeah, it's an interesting room and I owe you guys a tour of it, but I have a lot of work to do on this collection still. So I will give you that tour, just not today. Okay guys, so I've finished inventorying all these comic books. They're back in the box by title and by number. So all I have to do is take them out again and show you exactly what I ended up with. So that took a while, guys, but I enjoyed every single second of it. There is nothing quite like going through a box of comics for the first time, not knowing what you're going to find. And all told, there were 249 comics in there. So honestly, guys, 20 cents a piece. It didn't really matter what was in the box. I think it was a screaming deal. But of course, I was interested in all those X-Men affiliated titles, and there were plenty to be found. So let's start with this one first. One of the biggest titles in here was Alpha Flight. There were 57 issues, I think, pretty much issues 1 through 64 minus 7 issues. And I love the Alpha Flight team. They are the premier Canadian superhero team. They were first showed up in the X-Men titles, I think in X-Men 120 and 121, although their leader Vindicator showed up earlier, trying to get Wolverine, because Wolverine actually used to have some connections off-panel to Alpha Flight. Lots of great characters in this title that I really like Sasquatch, North Star, and of course Puck, and this is his first appearance. Yeah, I like this series as a kid, guys, because it was really cheap to find old back issues and fill it in. And because of that, you know, there's not a ton of like big key issues in this run at all. And of all the ones that I just showed you, the best one is probably the first issue here. Whenever I find this book cheap, I pick it up. I probably have like 5 or 6 of them at this point. And probably my favorite part is the early issues in this run were done by John Byrne, who did the story and the art. So I love this series. I'm a long way now to finishing the entire run. And my good friend Ryan, the Colossus Collector, who's actually in Canada, is also trying to finish this run in 2024. So I have plenty of doubles that I'm going to swing on over to him. So the next title in the box just happens to be one of my personal favorites, The New Mutants. So this was the most numerous title in the box. There were almost 70 issues, pretty much uninterrupted, 1 through 70, minus a few very notable exceptions. But yeah, I absolutely love this series for several reasons. First and foremost, it was written by Chris Claremont, at least the early issues were, and he was writing this at the same time as Uncanny X-Men. So there's a lot of story beats and characters that cross between the two different titles. You know, and very famously, this series went to exactly 100 issues before it switched over to X-Force. And the two most famous and expensive books in the run are right at the tail end, New Mutants number 87, First Cable, and New Mutants 98, First Deadpool. Alas, this only went to issues, 70 or so. But that's okay, because I have a ton of these already, and it happens to be one of my 2024 goals this year was to finish this run. So although I had a lot, I absolutely just filled in some huge swaths of books I did not have. Another notable thing, even though the two big books aren't in the ones I have, there are plenty of minor X-Men keys in here, guys. You have the first appearance of characters like Selene the Black Queen, Doug Ramsey, Cypher, Warlock, Thunderbird 2, Strong Guy. There's tons of great characters in here, guys. One very notable character that is missing is Legion. Legion's first appearance is also early in this run. However, it was not in this, so I don't know what happened to it. I'm sure someone just pulled it up because I knew it was like the best one early on. That's okay. I have several of them, and I'm very happy, guys, to pick up this many issues. So I can't even hold them all up. So there's the rest of them. So yeah, guys, pretty cool to have a 2024 goal of finishing a run and then putting a gigantic dent in it, 2 weeks after you make that resolution. Pretty good score right here. So the next X-Men affiliated title that came out of this box was X-Factor. So X-Factor is a pretty cool team in the X-Men mythos because the 5 members of the team are Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. The original 5 X-Men. Yeah, when this title came out in the mid-80s, the Uncanny X-Men title was taken over by the new X-Men. So Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde, and the rest. And the original 5 X-Men spun off into their own title. Only I think really diehard X-Men fans read this title, but still, if you really like the original X-Men, this is a great way to sort of read stories just featuring them instead of all the new kids on the block that came out in the 70s. Yeah, and it's a pretty inexpensive title, guys. You can find all these books for a couple of dollars. With some notable exceptions, the most expensive books in this run revolve around one of the X-Men's greatest foes, Apocalypse. So Apocalypse's first appearance in cameo form is issue number 5, his first full in number 6. Also a very notable issue is when he turns Angel into Archangel. Alas, all those issues are missing from this run. These are all over the place. There's 30 issues ranging from, issues 9 all the way up to like 60 or something, along with a couple annuals. That's okay. I have all those other issues, and I am really close now to finishing this entire run. Again, guys, you know, as an X-Men fan, and the need to kind of finish all of these runs and anything X-Men affiliated, this is just a nice, pleasant surprise to get these for 20 cents a piece. Once again, a great reason why I wanted this box in the first place. Pretty cool. So getting away from the X-Men titles, but still staying with Marvel, at least for now, is another title I found a ton of in the box. And it was Daredevil. I love Daredevil, guys. And just like all the other books that were in this box, these are all from the mid-'80s. Yeah, these all go from issues number 219 up to 260. Definitely not a straight run. There's like 28 books or something like that in here. But yeah, guys, I love Daredevil. You know, although there's no big notable keys in here, there's definitely some cool covers like this one. That's fantastic right there. And what's my favorite one here? Here it is. That 25th anniversary Marvel cover. So these were issued in 1986 at the 25th anniversary of Fantastic Four #1, kind of like, you know, the 25th anniversary of the modern era of superhero Marvel comics. And they all had these borders showing all the Marvel characters on the outside. I just thought this was a really cool cover. They did this with all of the titles, and there's several more actually down in there, like you saw in X Factor. But yeah, guys, I absolutely love reading these Daredevils, and although there's not many big keys or anything like that in here, I'll absolutely read all of these. And I already have a ton of this run, so who knows? Maybe this is like a 2025 goal of mine, is to finish like the 1980s Daredevil run. Pretty cool. Always happy to pick these guys up for 20 cents a piece. Can't go wrong. Okay, guys, now we're just getting into all the random stuff. I have a whole bunch more Marvel, but these are all runs of anything from like, you know, 10 books down to like a couple. So let's go through it quick. We have a whole bunch of Avengers titles here. Not just the Avengers, but also the West Coast Avengers. And there's some pretty good ones in here. Like this one here is when the Avengers find Jean Grey in a cocoon at the bottom of, you know, New York Harbor after the whole Dark Phoenix thing, and she comes back to life. But otherwise, yeah, you know, no big keys, but still, guys, always cool to have some extra Avengers books. Actually, there's quite a few. More than I thought, including, once again, one of those 25th anniversary covers, this time featuring Black Knight. Not a character you ever see really profiled front and center on these books. Yeah, tons of Avengers in here. We have a whole bunch of West Coast Avengers. Hey, we have another 25th anniversary one with Hawkeye. Man, these are everywhere. Yeah, lots of these. We have a lot of Avengers type characters. We get some Iron Man, including this great one with Spidey on the cover. Lots of Thor, and once again, the 25th anniversary. I know a lot of people collect these. Maybe I should start collecting these as well. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of Thors. This one's interesting. We get a Fin Fang Foom on the cover, and he's orange. Don't know what's up with that. This one's cool. I believe this is the death of the Midgard Serpent. Notable Thor foe. Pretty cool. Yeah, lots of Thors. We get the first appearance of whatever this Celestial is, who's a big, gigantic, like one of the biggest Celestials. I don't remember his name. Let me know down in the comments if you know who he is. Wow, there's actually a lot of Thor in here. And then we have a couple of Fantastic Fours and Things, which isn't a title that I was ever really a big fan of. And now we have a whole bunch more random stuff. We have the Silver Surfer Annual #1. This is part of the Evolutionary War. Of course, this is the 1980s series of Silver Surfer. Once again, another 25th anniversary cover here, this time featuring Cloak of Cloak and Dagger. Another Strange Tales featuring Cloak and Dagger. Randomly, guys, there was some modern books thrown in here. Here we see Judgment Day, which is a storyline from last year. This is sort of a cartoony cover. I don't know, it kind of looks like a Scotty Young. Yeah, it is. It's a Scotty Young. No idea why it was in there. Variant cover. We have a couple of issues of Elektra, Assassin, part of a, you know, 8-issue limited series. I never read it. There's 2 in here. We have a couple of Punisher books in here. Oh yeah, we have a whole bunch of crossover issues. So we have, you know, X-Men vs. Avengers limited series. We got X-Men and Alpha Flight, a couple of those. We have Mephisto, who fought like all of the different Marvel teams. I have 2 of those issues against the Avengers and X-Men. We have the official guide to the X-Men. We have a classic X-Men issue. We have Dazzler. And probably my favorite X-Men book in this whole box, guys, for reasons that you guys already know. This is Nightcrawler #1 from his first limited series. I've always loved this cover of him as a swashbuckler. And then the kind of like the last Marvel books I have in this little stack here aren't superhero related at all. These are The Nam. So this is a comic series based, of course, on the Vietnam War. A very highly acclaimed series for its incredible art. You know, I've only ever flipped through the series, guys, but the art is absolutely notable. Let me know down in the comments if any of you guys collect The Nam. I know some people who are obsessed with this title simply because of the art. So now let's look at all the DC comics for all of you DC comic lovers out there. First up, we have a couple of Supermans. We have Superman Annual number 2. This looks like it's from the John Byrne series from the 80s. We have an Action Comics with Batman. We have a whole bunch of new Teen Titans. I know nothing about these books, guys. Full disclosure. So I got a ton of these. Again, if there's any like key issues in here, please let me know down in the comments. We have a couple of Teen Titan Spotlights, a couple of Starfire. We have one featuring Jericho, one featuring Changeling, aka Beast Boy. We got a Flash comic. We got some Justice League. We got some Vigilante. And my favorite DC one in here, without a doubt, the Phantom Stranger. Another one of those weird, dark DC characters that I really, really like. So the last 4 issues in this box weren't originally in this box. These first 2 actually Larry threw in because he thought I might enjoy them. They are The Adventures of Barry Ween, Boy Genius. Yeah, Larry just found this in the collection, thought I would absolutely enjoy it. Although it looks like it's for kids, it's definitely not safe for kids, but it's some pretty good humor. He said I'd like it. He threw it in the box. And the last 2 were actually in the box next to this one, which I also looked through. I almost bought that one as well. But there were a couple books I wanted. They're not worth that much money, but I just needed some Spider-Man in this box, guys. It wasn't enough Spider-Man. I saw these 2 books. I said, Larry, I'm throwing them in there. And they're these 2. The first one is The Amazing Spider-Man number 356. I like this cover simply because it's so 90s to me. We have, you know, it's a Bagley and Romita cover of Spider-Man with Moon Knight, Night Thrasher, Nova, and Punisher. I can't say no to a Bagley Spider-Man cover, guys. I absolutely loved it. Had to throw it in. And the other one, everyone knows what this one is. This is Web of Spider-Man number 90. This is one of the 30th anniversary of Spider-Man books that came out. Each of the Spider-Man titles that were the 30th anniversary had a different hologram. And if you guys are anything like me, the ones who grew up in the 90s, you'll be a sucker for these hologram covers as well. It was a gimmick in the 90s, but I absolutely love them, guys, and I always pick these up. I already have this book, but I couldn't say no to it. Ugh. So there you go, guys. Ugh. This is a bad idea. I should have thought this shot through. There you go, guys. This is the entire box of comics that I got for $50. I obviously couldn't show you everything in here. It would have taken me all day. No big keys, nothing worth a ton of money, guys, but for, 20 cents a piece to get a whole bunch of comic books that I am absolutely going to enjoy, totally worth it. I know I said one of my 2024 resolutions was more quality, not quantity. Oops, whatever, guys, but I also want to finish some runs, and there's no better way to do it than this. So head on down to the comments, guys, and let me know what you think of all of the stuff you saw. Do you think I got a good deal at $50, or do you think a lot of this stuff is just junk I should throw away? I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully you guys think I did a good job as well. Let me know which comic books in here were your absolute favorites. That's it, guys. Keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places, or let your friends do it and buy all their excess. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.